In what meteorologists are calling a once-in-a-generation winter event, Louisiana remains paralyzed as Winter Storm Fern continues to blanket the Deep South in a lethal layer of ice and sleet. As of Monday, January 26, 2026, the state is grappling with widespread infrastructure failure, a rising death toll, and a historic power crisis that has left hundreds of thousands in the dark during sub-freezing temperatures. Governor Jeff Landry, who declared a state of emergency earlier this week, has requested immediate federal intervention. This is not just a weather event, it is a humanitarian crisis, Landry stated during a press briefing at the governor's mansion, which is currently running on generator power. Our primary focus is life safety, restoring the power grid, and clearing the arteries of our commerce that have been frozen shut. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has been authorized to provide emergency protective measures, including direct federal assistance, as the state's resources are stretched to their breaking point. The human cost of the storm is mounting. At least 6 deaths have been officially confirmed by the Louisiana Department of Health. In Shreveport, 2 elderly individuals succumbed to hypothermia inside their homes after their heating systems failed. In Alexandria, a family of 4 was rushed to the hospital with severe carbon monoxide poisoning. Tragically, 2 children did not survive. Authorities believe the family was running a portable generator in a semi-enclosed garage to stay warm.
Damn.
The remaining fatalities involve a multi-vehicle pileup on a frozen bridge over the Atchafalaya Basin. Health officials are issuing urgent pleas to the public. If you are using a generator, it must be at least 20 feet away from any window, door, or vent. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer, and in this cold, it is claiming more lives than the ice itself.
As far as we know it,
The ice accumulation, which reached upwards of 0.75 inches in some northern parishes, has caused catastrophic damage to the electrical grid.
there were 3 people.
Over
inside the
125,000 customers are currently without power. The hardest hit areas include Ouachita, Lincoln, and Bossier parishes.
The tree.
Utility companies like Entergy Louisiana and Clico report that the weight of the ice on power lines, combined with falling frozen pine branches, has snapped hundreds of utility poles.
The roads.
Entergy officials warn that while crews are working 24/7, the restoration process is excruciatingly slow.
You can see.
In the Interstate 20 corridor, power is expected to be restored to 80% of customers by Wednesday night, January 28, 2026. But rural residents may face a week or more in the cold. The freezing temperatures have not only snapped wires, but also burst pipes. The city of Monroe issued a citywide boil water advisory after power surges crippled the main water treatment plant's pumps. Residents are being urged to conserve water as pressure remains critically low. Transportation has come to a virtual standstill. Interstate 20 and Interstate 49 were closed for significant stretches, as hundreds of 18-wheelers became jackknifed on the black ice. The Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, has deployed all available salt and sand trucks. But the sheer volume of sleet, reported up to 4.5 inches in some areas, has rendered many secondary roads impassable. In response to the crisis, the Louisiana National Guard has been deployed to conduct door-to-door wellness checks. Currently, 76 warming centers have been opened across the state, providing hot meals, blankets, and a safe place to sleep for those whose homes have become uninhabitable. The resilience of Louisianans is being tested, said Major General Thomas Curtis of the National Guard. But we are seeing neighbors helping neighbors, sharing firewood and supplies. We will get through this.
What a mess.
The National Weather Service, NWS, warns that while the precipitation has largely ceased, the danger is far from over. A hard freeze warning remains in effect through Thursday morning, meaning any melted ice will refreeze overnight, creating black ice conditions that are nearly invisible to drivers. Meanwhile, as Winter Storm Fern grips the state of Louisiana in a lethal shroud of ice, the Department of Public Safety has confirmed a series of catastrophic accidents that have claimed lives and left dozens injured. With over 0.5 to 1 inch of ice accumulation reported on major overpasses, the state's infrastructure has transformed into a skating rink, leading to what officials describe as unprecedented road carnage. The most devastating incident occurred early Sunday morning on Interstate 20, just east of Minden. What began as a single vehicle losing traction quickly escalated into a massive 40-vehicle pileup, involving at least 15 semi-trucks. Witnesses describe a scene of chaos as heavy rigs, unable to brake on the black ice, slammed into passenger cars already stalled on the highway. Louisiana State Police, LSP, confirmed 3 fatalities at this location alone. The sound was like a series of explosions, said Marcus Thorne, a truck driver who narrowly avoided the collision. Once you hit that patch of ice, your brakes are useless. You're just a passenger in a multi-ton weapon. Emergency responders faced extreme difficulty reaching the site. Fire trucks and ambulances struggled to maintain traction, and many paramedics had to carry equipment on foot for over half a mile to reach the injured. In the southern part of the state, the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge, a 18-mile stretch of I-10, became a scene of tragedy when an SUV spun out of control and struck a guardrail near the Whiskey Bay exit. According to LSP Troop 1, the vehicle flipped and partially hung over the railing. Tragically, a second vehicle, unable to stop, struck the first, sending the SUV into the frigid waters below. Recovery dive teams were hampered by freezing temperatures and floating ice chunks. One victim was recovered late Tuesday afternoon, while a second passenger remains missing and is presumed dead. While the interstate saw the most dramatic collisions, secondary roads in rural parishes like Ouachita and Lincoln have seen a surge in single-vehicle excursions. In Ruston, a 19-year-old university student was killed when her vehicle slid off a curved road and struck a utility pole that had already been weakened by ice weight. In Bossier Parish, a delivery driver sustained critical injuries after his van plummeted into a frozen creek bed after sliding off a bridge that had not yet been sanded. Colonel Brian Zeringue of the Louisiana State Police issued a stern warning to the public during a televised emergency broadcast. "We are seeing people attempting to drive because the sun is out, but the roads are more dangerous now than they were during the snowfall. The melt and freeze cycle is creating a layer of transparent black ice that is impossible to navigate." As of 6 p.m., the following major arteries remain closed or restricted. I-20 westbound/eastbound from the Texas state line to Monroe. I-49 northbound from Alexandria to Shreveport. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, restricted to escorted convoys only. Hospitals in North Louisiana are reporting a massive influx of slip and fall injuries alongside car accident victims. Oxnard LSU Health in Shreveport reported that its emergency room is operating at 150% capacity, treating everything from broken hips to severe trauma resulting from the I-20 pileup. "Our resources are at the breaking point," said Dr. Elena Rossi, Chief of Trauma. "We are asking residents to please stay home. Every person who decides to test the roads is potentially taking an ICU bed away from someone else in need." For those who must travel for emergency reasons, the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, advises: reduce speed significantly. 20 miles per hour is often too fast for iced bridges. Allow at least 10 car lengths between you and the vehicle in front. Ensure your vehicle has blankets, water, and a fully charged phone. If stranded, stay inside your vehicle. Do not attempt to walk on the highway, as other vehicles may slide into you. Governor Jeff Landry has activated an additional 400 National Guard troops, specifically to assist state police in clearing wreckage and providing fuel to stranded motorists to prevent hypothermia. As temperatures are forecasted to drop to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -9 degrees Celsius tonight, the ice is expected to harden further, making Wednesday morning's commute equally perilous. Local authorities maintain a zero-tolerance recommendation for travel until a significant thaw occurs, expected no earlier than Thursday afternoon. On its more than 2,300-mile trek across the southern tier of the U.S., the historic winter storm that brought winter weather to more than 245 million Americans across the weekend left a lasting impact on Nashville, as thousands remain without power from crippling ice that has overtaken the typically bustling Tennessee town. Exclusive photographs and video from Yuri Momchur reveal the devastating widespread carnage in Tennessee's largest city. Century-old trees fell onto electrical lines, numerous utility poles were fractured beyond repair, and traffic signals were demolished, as 200,000 customers in Davidson County still remain without power, according to PowerOutage.com. After taking shape in the southern plains on Friday, over the course of the weekend, the historic winter storm barreled east across the U.S., packing devastating ice storms that crushed a massive corridor of states in the southeast, including Tennessee, leaving more than 1 million customers without power at the storm's peak intensity on Sunday. Radar from Sunday at 5 a.m., Central Standard Time provided by the Fox Forecast Center, displays Nashville near the bullseye of a strong ice storm corridor that paralyzed numerous states across the South. According to the Fox Forecast Center, 0.75 inches of ice accretion was reported just outside Nashville in Brentwood, Tennessee, enough to cause the catastrophic winter weather headache that millions in Tennessee are facing in the aftermath of the historic storm. Entire cars and streets were left coated in a thick layer of ice, as transportation on several major highways and local roads in the Nashville metro area remain impaired, as frigid temperatures are welcoming the harsh winter weather conditions to stick around. Life-threatening power outages remain a serious concern for thousands, as the devastating effects of ice accretion continue to cripple thousands statewide. Nashville Electric Service is responsible for more than 200,000 outages in Davidson County. The utility company announced midday Monday that power had been restored to over 60,000 Nashville Electric Service customers, as crews continue to work through single-digit temperatures to restore power to the area that experienced some of the most debilitating ice storms the powerful winter storm had to offer. With a significant punch of Arctic air, bringing freezing temperatures to many areas across the South that saw the worst impacts the major winter storm offered, temperature lows in Nashville remain below freezing through Saturday. The cold has forced some residents to seek warmth wherever they can and want solutions from city leaders. In the Glencliff neighborhood, 65-year-old Darlene Hargis sat inside her car with a portable oxygen tank because her home had no electricity. Her husband, Dwayne Hargis, said the outage has created a medical emergency. "My wife has to have electricity to breathe," said Hargis. City officials say ice buildup continues to knock trees and limbs into power lines, even in areas where service has already been restored. NES reports crews restored power to roughly 60,000 customers, but Mayor Freddie O'Connell said falling trees have caused repeated outages in some neighborhoods. One continuing concern is that we are seeing trees continue to fall, even as crews are getting power restored. Limbs and trees are falling on lines again in places, knocking power back out after it's been restored, said O'Connell. Officials warn full restoration could take several days. About 15 minutes away from Glencliff, a warming shelter is operating at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Robert Thompson, who lives near Elgin Street, was there and said he has been without power since Saturday morning. "It was cold, and I was freezing," said Thompson. When asked what it's been like being displaced from his home, Thompson replied, "I hate it. I want to go home." At the same shelter, Kelly Carr said she had no power or food before coming to the fairgrounds. "I've never experienced this before," said Carr in tears. Carr said she walked 2 miles from her home to catch a bus to the shelter. Transportation was a barrier for her. "I called the non-emergency number and nobody answered," she said. Fox 17. News brought concerns to city leaders, including Mayor Freddie O'Connell, who announced a new effort to help residents reach warming locations. New today, we've activated a task force with Chief Drake and Director Chief Swan to establish a call line for people who need to request transportation to a warming center. According to the city, all Nashville Fire Department stations are available as warming locations. Metro Police Precinct community rooms are also open except for East and Central precincts. 2 fatal crashes have been reported in Tennessee since Saturday morning, and 61 others have caused injuries, according to the state. The cause of the fatalities have not yet been determined, a press release said. The Tennessee Department of Health will determine whether it is weather-related. We are asking everyone to help us by staying off the roads unless travel is absolutely necessary, said Department of Safety and Homeland Security Commissioner Jeff Long. In current weather conditions from the winter storm, officials are still urging people to stay home and avoid travel as much as possible because of slick roads and fallen trees and power lines. For those who must drive, the Tennessee Department of Transportation says to slow down when approaching intersections, off-ramps, bridges, or shady spots. These are all candidates for developing black ice, the agency says. Travelers should also be sure to drive slowly, avoid excessive braking or accelerating, and leave plenty of room between their vehicle and others. Metro Atlanta woke up Monday to frigid temperatures, lingering power outages, closed schools, and warnings from officials about ice on secondary roads. The days-long ice storm warning that was in effect for everywhere in Georgia above Interstate 20 ended at 10 a.m. But the National Weather Service, NWS, urged people to use extreme caution if driving and to watch for downed trees. Georgia is still under a state of emergency declaration through Thursday. About 16,000 power outages remained in Georgia on Monday morning, down from a peak of 100,000 on Sunday, according to poweroutage.us. Most are in the far northeastern corner of the state. The tens of thousands of outages that spread across Metro Atlanta on Sunday are now down to a few hundred. There are about 275 flight cancellations and 550 flight delays as of 3 p.m. Monday at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, according to FlightAware. There were 1,200 cancellations and 600 delays on Sunday. Most students in Metro Atlanta have the day off on Monday. The school districts that canceled classes include Atlanta Public Schools, Clayton County Schools, Cobb County Schools, DeKalb County Schools, and Marietta City Schools. Fulton and Gwinnett County Schools will have remote learning.
It's everywhere.
MARTA will continue to operate buses and trains on a reduced service plan on Monday due to the weather.
I know what I'm saying.
Most of the state is under a cold weather advisory through Tuesday morning, according to NWS. Wind chills will range from 0 to 15 degrees during that time. The high temperature in Atlanta on Monday is around the freezing mark, and the area could get wind gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. The low Monday night is 15 degrees. Tuesday, the high will be 39 degrees with a low of 24. The Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency warned people to take precautions against hypothermia and frostbite by limiting time outdoors, dressing in layers, covering exposed skin, and keeping clothing dry. They also advised people to check on elderly neighbors, children, and those without adequate heating. In Lakewood Heights, massive trees toppled by the weight of the ice have blocked streets like Clare Drive, snapping power and internet lines. Residents reported being without power for over 7 hours as crews worked to clear debris and repair fencing damaged by falling limbs. While Georgia Power has restored many in the metro area, thousands of customers in the northeastern and western corners of the state remain in the dark. Road conditions have improved on primary interstates due to heavy salting by GDOT and the help of radiant solar heat. However, secondary and neighborhood roads in areas like Brazelton, Hoshton, and Commerce remain treacherous. Officials warn that shaded areas and bridges will not dry out before temperatures plummet into the low to mid-teens tonight. Businesses in Commerce, including the outlet malls, remain closed today with plans to reopen Tuesday morning as the region braces for one more night of single-digit wind chills. Residents across the southeast and in North Georgia are facing a treacherous Monday morning as plummeting temperatures and high winds turn the aftermath of a major winter storm into a deep freeze. While heavy precipitation has ended, temperatures in the 20s and wind chills in the single digits have created widespread hazards, including black ice and lingering power outages. In Alpharetta, ice accumulations of up to half an inch have been reported on power lines, adding significant weight and complicating restoration efforts for thousands of customers.
Smashed.
Road conditions vary significantly by location and road type. While major highways like the Stone Mountain Freeway and I-85 remain in relatively good shape due to proactive treatment by DOT crews, secondary roads in Gainesville, Cumming, and Brazelton are described as night and day compared to the interstates. In Jackson County, Highway 53 and various exit ramps are rapidly refreezing, turning seemingly wet patches into dangerous ice. Neighborhood streets in Hoshton remain buried under slush and ice, making travel nearly impossible for local residents. Public safety officials continue to urge caution, specifically warning that bridges and overpasses are the first to freeze. Icy conditions have also been reported at the roundabout near Hembry Road and Howes Road in Roswell. Although high winds may help dry out some road moisture later today, the region remains under a winter weather advisory. With temperatures expected to drop even further tonight, the threat of black ice is likely to persist through Tuesday morning. For now, authorities praise the community for staying off the roads, which has allowed emergency teams to manage dozens of storm-related calls and focus on restoring essential services. Travel misery continues for some at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, where the winter storm has caused over 1,200 cancellations in the last 24 hours. As of this morning, an additional 200 flights have been scrubbed today, with 79 active delays as crews work around the clock to de-ice planes and treat frozen runways. The travel disruptions have created a significant stranded population at the airport. Frustrated passengers reported being stuck on the tarmac for hours before their flights were ultimately canceled. Finding a way out of the airport has proven equally difficult. Local hotels are fully booked, and rideshare services like Uber and Lyft remain limited due to hazardous road conditions. Even travelers who successfully landed are finding themselves stuck at the terminal as regional shuttles, including those to the Athens area, have been suspended. The University of Georgia in Athens announced there will be no school Monday for students following the heavy icing in Clark County. While college students were seen earlier in the day making the most of the weather by sledding on hills using cardboard and plastic, officials are taking the hunker-down approach as the refreeze begins.